Okay, let's start it one more time. Like I said, guys, the NXT, like I said, SmackDown was good yesterday. I like the idea that Kevin Owens is gonna be World Heavyweight Champion. I want to see where that's gonna lead with him because I want to see if he's gonna actually have a decent run as World Heavyweight Champion because he's never been that. He's been Universal, he's been United States, and I think he's also been in a Continental. Same thing with the world, the United States being on Samoa Joe's shoulder. I just kind of feel like because Joe is such a good competitor, I want him to be that guy, and I kind of feel like where are we gonna put him? And this is what I mean, because I want the Intercontinental title to be relevant again on SmackDown as well, and this is what I mean because, like I said, there's not a lot of guys that are getting championship, and this is what I mean because like okay, Kofi's gonna become World Heavyweight Champion and probably at WrestleMania than Fastlane because that'd be easier. And then AJ's gonna become champion again. Then Jeff will become champion, and then Randy will become champion, and then and Mustafa will become champion. And I kind of feel like now this is what I mean because it's changing everything we know. Like I don't hate Raw's ideas of championships, but they don't. They're not really making. They're not changing a hand. The belt's not changing hands. If it's the top belt on your show and it's not changing hands, and on SmackDown it's changing hands a lot, that means something is wrong. Because even when they meet, even when Stone Cold was, even when Stone Cold was the face of the company, even when he was the face of the company, he had his own sense. Because he was champion, but the way they put it on, like the way he went through the belt, because he went through a lot of title changes. Because it was Stone Cold. The Rock had the belt, but he threw his belt, which is the WWE champion, the one with the rattlesnake belt, threw it away. And the thing was, he threw, and this is what I mean, like the WWE championship has been through so many, it changes hands so many times that it didn't need to. And then with Stone Cold being the guy that he was, and then Shawn Michaels having the belt after off of Brett, and Brett left, and he felt that he got screwed, which I don't think he got screwed. I think they didn't want Brett to be the face because Brett wasn't supposed to be the guy. Shawn Michaels was the guy for a bit, and then Stone Cold Steve Austin was the real guy. And then Triple H was the guy because Triple H didn't care. That's what I mean. He didn't care. Triple H wasn't the guy. Like Triple H was the guy, but I think ultimately who he was the people who ran was the real face of the company was probably Vince himself. And this is what I mean. When even now, because the guy is always going to be Daniel Bryan, but I think that might be Kevin Owens. Because even with Triple H giving Kevin Owens the shot for the Universal title in 2015, and I just feel like you know what, he's not a bad guy. He's not, and I feel just like everybody else in the world that I feel that there isn't a guy. There's not a top guy because John Cena was the top guy, and that's how I felt. Even before he changed his gimmick was like him being if he would have been the doctor of Thugonomics and just been himself and not been the guy that we with the C Nation, the hustle the hustle loyalty and respect I was cool with, but not the C Nation thing. And that's how I felt because the thing is people don't really realize that everybody has to catch the brass ring. And this is the thing with CM Punk. CM Punk was the man, but he wasn't. He was a man, but he wasn't the man. Because the thing is, he tried to be what the universe didn't want him. Like it's okay to be the anti-hero, but you can't be the hero and then just like kick everything just and let Vince tell you like to turn heel. No, it wasn't that Vince wanted you to turn. You turned heel on your own. Like I said, I've been around so many different eras of wrestling, and I feel like even with CM Punk even coming back now, which he is never coming back. But I don't hate CM Punk. I just think him trying to be something that he could have been if everybody didn't kick him in the nuts about it. Because him being straight edge wasn't bad. Him being the way when he first debuted in WECW, he wasn't a bad guy. Even when he had Tommy Dreamer, the hardcore legend. Like, come on, and you're mad, and this is the thing. And he had a sour taste in his mouth about John Cena. John Cena's not a bad guy, but he's a dick because the dude, he doesn't care. And the guy, which is Ryan, Ryan, whatever his name is, on Ryback, which is Ryan something, because I know he wasn't tough enough. Like, Ryback was fine, but Ryback wasn't the guy. Like, Ryback wasn't the guy. He was trying to be he was trying to be a Goldberg freaking wannabe, and that was a failed project with him too. Ryback was a failed project. He was. He was a failed project. He was a failed project. That's what it was. It was an abject failure for him. Same thing with the Radar Superstar, with Edge coming back. And Edge being the way that he was, even with Edge, because I like Edge. I liked him. Edge was cool. I liked it when he even debuted it with the Brood. And that's the thing. Edge wasn't a bad guy. He could have got more exposure if the World Wrestling Federation wasn't the way it was, because that's what I'm saying. Even with like Ric Flair running SmackDown the way he ran SmackDown, even with Raw, even with Vince running Raw, and that was my thing, because I'm like, you know what, like, you can get the dude to run, but the funny thing is he would have had more exposure. Same thing with DDP, he could have had more, but it wasn't his time. DDP was from an era that was still getting like a full of gimmicks, because he was in WCW for almost a decade of time, because in the early 90s, all the larger than life character, the personas were dumb. I mean, come on, Scott Hall as Razor Ramon, the way he would have, like, even if he would have stayed in the Attitude Era, and that was the thing, if he would have stayed, he probably would have the same dumb gimmick. He would have never changed it. Unless Kevin Nash wanted him to do. And this is what I mean, guys. I use a lot of references, but I know what I'm talking about. The gimmicks would have been the same. Because look at the NWO. NWO was the biggest faction in wrestling history, next to D-Generation X. And they never had a war with each other, not even once. Because if D-Generation X they would have beat the NWO somehow. Because WCW wasn't the company that we thought it was being, because of Eric Bischoff, Ric Flair, freaking JJ Dillon, Ted Turner's greed and stupidness and thick-headedness didn't really work out either, because that was the thing. Even now, like I said, SmackDown is not a bad company. They are not a bad brand. It's that some wrestlers don't get enough exposure to being a champion. This is what I mean. Even Kevin Owens getting the push for being the World Heavyweight title, it's a good push. Same thing with Joe finally getting a title. He never got one. He never gets a title because he was on NXT for about a year, maybe about 2 years before he went to the main roster. And Raw, for some reason, just failed at giving him a title. And now that he's on SmackDown, he has a title. Like, he has one. And this is what I mean. Like, how is SmackDown making their titles more known than Raw is? Raw has the Universal title and the Intercontinental. But the Raws, and again, nobody's defending. Like, they're not gonna give Finn a push, because I can see how this is gonna go down. Because he's gonna end up going to SmackDown. That's how Finn will go. Because Raw's not gonna give him that shot he needs, unless Seth beats Brock and gets the title away from him. Unless he drops the title, it doesn't work. Because every time we think we're gonna see something different in Raw, it never changes. SmackDown, we see something different. Come on, I mean, really, Mustafa Ali beating the crap out of Daniel Bryan and fighting the guy, that's some craziness. It wasn't a promo, it was a straight up fight. And because of the fact we don't get a lot of guys coming in the brick. See, this what should have happened with WCW. This what should have happened. Brett should have just did a promo, should have cursed out WWF and left, and should have would have told Vince, like, listen, dude, you're not paying me enough. You screwed me. You made me drop the title to Shawn. I was okay with that. I could have dropped the title. That would have been fine. But that was the thing. He wasn't a hero in the States. He was a hero in Canada. Which it wasn't bad. See, and this is what I mean, because this is what I'm talking about. Things that Vince he'll never let go. Like, Brett finally let go of the screw job thing. And the thing is, that's the thing, you should have just let him do a promo. Kofi's gonna do a promo. Because he's gonna feel like it's the Kingston screw job. That's what I'm gonna name that now. Kingston screw job. Because you know what, dude, you waited 11 years to get a title. And you had one, actually. You won a title. When you first debuted, you won a title, actually. You won the Intercontinental title. You won the United States title. You've won titles before. You were a tag team title holder. So it's not like you never won a title. WWE Championship you would have had, but it wasn't your time, Kof. It wasn't your dream, it wasn't your time. And this is what I mean. But anyway, guys, like and comment and subscribe to this channel. Peace.